So let's be real. We don't all have a bunch of money to spend on effects, pedals, and different things for our bass. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I just don't have the money to do that all the time. If you follow my channel for any amount of time, you probably have noticed that I only use about 2 or 3 pedals at a time when I travel live or play in the studio or anything like that. And the reason why is because I know that bass effects doesn't always just come from the pedals. They can come from your hands too. And honestly, when they come from your hands, it doesn't matter what bass you have or how much money you have in your account, you can get really cool bass effects tones. So this first effect is the octave effect. And all I'm doing is I'm just playing octaves. If you don't know what an octave is, you just play a note like this G right here. All I'm gonna do is do the 2x2 rule, which is go up 2 frets and down 2 strings, and I get the same note, just a higher pitch up. Instead of playing this separately like this, like arpeggio, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play them both simultaneously or at the same time to get a chord type of sound like this. Okay? Make sure your bass is in tune because you would definitely hear it whenever you start playing those same notes and one of them is off. So what I'm gonna do is play these both at the same time. And the way I do that with my right hand is I'm using my index and middle finger. And I'm just gonna play on the E and D string like this motion at the same time. And that's how I'm getting that perfectly played motion, is because I'm literally playing them exactly the same. Now, if you've never done this before, it may take you a second just to kind of get it under your hands, but I promise you, once you get it, it'll be easy to remember. Now, a great way to get this nice and under your hands so you can start using it in your playing is to play it with your scales. I know I say it all the time, but play it with your scales because honestly, that's how you can start to see what the good notes are that you can play. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play my G minor scale just to kind of practice it, but I won't be able to go all the way up the scale, all the way to the G string. I'm only gonna be able to go from the E to the A string like this. And the reason why is because there's no more octaves after that. So when playing this, make sure you practice just in the E and A string. So if you don't know all your positions and you wanted to learn them on the E and A string, this is a great way to practice it too. So the way I practice it with it is I just play up the minor scale and then just back down. And then once I get familiar with that area, then I move up to the next mode, or if you're doing pentatonic scales, the pentatonic position. And then move it up. So then you just keep going until you go all the way to a repeats itself on the octave of the neck. So this doesn't necessarily just always come easily. So you may, before you start working with the metronome, just practice playing up the scale. And just getting your hands familiar with the whole form of it. And then start adding the metronome and locking it in to some speed. And I'll give you one more tip with the octave exercise to really spice up how you use it. One thing you could do is whatever you play down here, play it up here, because it sounds cool when you play it low, but when you play it high, it also sounds cool. The reason why I love doing that is because you get kind of double out of what you're playing down here. So like if you're playing, you know, learn your groove really cool down here, you can play that same thing up here. And it sounds like a little bit differently and gives like another level to what you're playing. So now this next effect is the harmony effect. Now the harmony effect is really quote unquote double stops. If you don't know what double stops are, all they really are just 2-note chords. The way I like to use it on bass is using it on the D and G string only to kind of get this sound. One scale that I use and what I was using on the playthrough is the pentatonic scale. Most times this is used with the pentatonic and minor or major scale. Now, if you played it with this G minor scale, like using the minor scale, it would sound like this with double stops. You can kind of hear the differences between like major and minor, and it's cool and it works really cool when you play it in the right context. But most of the time, what I like to use is the minor pentatonic scale when it comes to this because it works with more chords, which is like this. Now, the way that you find these double stops in your bass is basically practice your pentatonic scale positions until you get all the way to the octave. And what you do is you notice what is on the D and G string. So like this first one, that's what's played on the D and G string at the end of the pentatonic scale when you go from the E to the G string. This is the next position, next position, next position, next position, next position, which is the octave. So now what you do, you start to see what two notes are closest together. And so what I like to do is do the ones that are closest together as far as string goes. And so whenever you do that, you could play and just kind of use your index finger to hammer down and press down on your string until they both kind of make noise and make sound. Now do the same thing for the next one up. So on this pattern, I got this pattern right here. And so I can play these two, those are the closest together. But then these have to be separated. Instead of trying to bar it like this, the easiest way is to just play it with two fingers, okay? Then the next position up is obviously there, starts right there, which I'm using my index and middle on that one now. And then pinky on this one because this is the pattern, okay? Next one up is gonna be, okay, just those two like that. And then the next one up would be, and so I'm just gonna go, and then we're back to the first one. So a great way of practicing this and getting this under your hands is, of course, to just practice and just go up all of them. Okay, and go back down. Okay. But once you do that, start playing it with the metronome, of course. But one thing I like to do with this is start putting it into a groove. You may have to start off slow with this. And honestly, if you just play like a note, that's a great way to just start. And you take it up an octave. And that's just a great way of starting to get it under your hands. The one thing about this, you want to make sure it's clean. You don't want it to be real nasty and just like sloppy. You want it to actually sound nice and clean, and that's what makes it stick out. Now, if you want to expand this, what you could start doing is learning the same patterns or what the patterns are for the E and A string as well, like this. But the thing is that when you start playing them lower, they don't sound really good. They sound kind of muddy. So you have to learn how to play them up here. And even if you just went all the way down like this, and all I'm doing is I'm just playing the pattern here on the E and A string for the G minor pentatonic, and then the next one, the A and D string, and then the next for the D and G string. Like, you can go very far with this if you want to and just really just find every aspect of what way you could do it. But the thing is just learning how to use it in the right context. Of course, it's not going to always work with every single thing you do. This is just a really cool effect that you can throw to make a cool moment, either in a solo, in a groove, or even if you want to just make a groove with this as a part of it. Do it. Find creative ways to use it, because honestly, this is such a fun effect to use on bass. All right, so this last effect is the filter effect. So if you have a bass like this, or if you have just like a bass that has a tone knob, I mean, this is just a Fender Squier, but any bass will do that just has a tone knob. You can get this filter effect if you're wanting to like kind of, you know, if you've ever heard like an EDM song and it starts with like, and it comes off and it's just like this, like, whoa, what just happened? It's just like opened up and everything opened up. You can kind of create a similar, I'm not saying exactly, but a similar effect by using your tone knob. All you do is you find your tone knob, which is right here, roll it back, okay, all the way to where it's completely down, and you get like this. You get this tone where it's like completely kind of muffled, but when you start bringing it out, it kind of makes the presence come up and kind of almost like a filter opening up by using that tone knob. So you could come up with some creative ways of using this. Now, I don't use this that often, but it is really cool, especially when I'm recording on studio sessions or different things like that, to kind of sometimes have like a little muffled bass that's all the way down. There's like, and then have the regular bass. Be creative with these techniques, because I know some of them are like, I don't know if I necessarily use that, but honestly, it's really cool. And if you don't have a lot of money to get pedals, this is gonna be a great way of building your technique and being able to have something whenever you do get the money to get pedals. Now you can use them to a wider extent versus just the one thing that they're known for doing. Now, I know that there's way more bass effects that you can do without pedals. So let me know in the comments which ones you use and which ones that you like, because I'm always trying to learn. So guys, this video is not sponsored. This is a piece of equipment that I've been using the past little bit of this year called an Xvive U2 and an Xvive U4. This is basically a way that you can go wireless, plug it into your bass on one end and then plug it into your pedal board, and you can play wirelessly from your bass. And the other one, the U4, is a way that you can have in-ear monitoring wirelessly just on your person. This part goes into the console and this part goes right onto your belt, or you can put it in your pocket, you know, whatever you want to do, and you just hook your headphones up to it, and whatever mix they were gonna send to your monitor, now you can have it in your headphones. You may be thinking, Travis, these things have been around. What's so special about this? What's special about this is, one, the quality is very great for, you know, the cost, and the cost of it is under $500. So what I'm wanting to do, and the reason why I'm telling you on this video, is because I want to give both of these away to one of you, so you can go wireless when you play with artists, when you play just on gigs, or even when you just play at church. This could be used everywhere. If you're interested in this giveaway, go to my website, travisdykesmusic.com. Once you get to the website, go to that home page, and once you scroll down all the way to the bottom, you'll see this place where you can put your email. Drop your email in right there, and that will put your name in the hat for this giveaway. I'm gonna be announcing the winner in 2 weeks after this video has been posted, and I'll respond to you by email. So if you see any comments below saying like, oh, you was the winner or whatever, that's not me. I will respond to you by email, okay? So go to the website, put your email in so you can put your name in the hat for this giveaway. And if you're wanting to explore more when it comes to bass effects and different things like that, feel free to check out this video right here where I explain the 4 types of bass pedals that I feel every bass player needs.